Hello friends, welcome to Programming Concepts. My name is Amit and this is part 19 of ASP.NET Core MVC tutorial. In this video, we will talk about attribute routing in ASP.NET Core MVC and we will create these routes practically. This is continuation to part 18, routing in ASP.NET Core MVC, so please watch it before proceeding to this one. I shared the link in the description. So attribute routing uses a set of attributes to map actions directly to route templates. First, what is attribute in .NET Core MVC? So it is nothing but an abstract class. Let's go to Visual Studio. And this is the project which we are working with. And this is my employee class. We know that ID is going to be the key for this class. So let me decorate it with key attribute. So let's press Control dot and key is present under system.componentModel.data annotation class. Let's add this namespace. And if I go to its definition, you can see this class is inherited by attribute class. So there are different attributes which will do some task. Let's take another example about attributes with key attribute itself. Let's try to use key attribute on top of action method. Now you can see it will give you error stating attribute key is not valid for this declaration type. So .NET Core framework is intelligent enough to identify which attributes works on what. So here I apply attribute on top of property in employee class. Similarly, we have attributes for controller action methods as well. Nothing special, simple. There is a class in the background which is performing some task. So instead of creating object of a class and calling its method, Microsoft provided some functionality which is there to ease out developer life and they term them attributes. Alright, simple, extremely simple. In our previous video, we defined our routes in middleware and here they are. So within use endpoints, we register some routes for our application and this middleware execute the mashed endpoint. But to select which endpoint mashed, it is the responsibility of use routing middleware. So use routing middleware decide which endpoint to execute. So if I request came for execute the mashed endpoint, use routing middleware will tell compiler to execute this endpoints. All right. So we can implement attribute routing at controller and action level. Can you guess why at these two levels? Simple, because routing meant for controller. Remember in MVC pattern, request will be handled by controller. That's why. So we have attribute called route. So let's decorate just above action method. So if I go to its definition, you can see it is inherited by the class attribute. Let's say I want to route this action method when user type first attribute route. So within route, I will write first attribute route. And one more thing, within startup.cs class, we will add app.map controllers. And let's comment our conventional routes. All right, let's run the program. Let's append first attribute route at the end of the URL. And you can see it route it to the correct action and the controller method. Simple, nothing special. Everything is managed by Microsoft for us and we only need to learn how to use them. So if you want to land on this action method when user type employee/list of employee in the URL, you need to add another route here. So let's add that as well. So route within double quotes employee/list of all employees. And if you want to make it a home page, for that let's add another route with empty string. Next we also have a delete employee with ID as a parameter. So let's add a route for this as well. So within routes delete employee/ID. And if you want to make ID as optional, then append question mark. All right, then let's run the program. And you can see now home page is set to index action method because of empty route we have added. And let's route it to delete employee without ID first. And you can see it is working. And let's append ID. And you can see it is still working. And let's route it to employee / list of all employee to see if everything is working as expected. Yes, it's working. All right. Now, if you don't want to write routes for all action method, then we have a concept called token replacement. So let's apply token replacement at controller level. So at the top, let's type route and within square bracket controller / and again within square bracket action. So I hope you can understand this. If URL comes with correct controller and action method, it will be redirected here automatically. Let's see that. Let's run the program once again. And let's type employee / index. And it is working as expected. Next is attribute routing with HTTP verb attributes. So let's say you want to run particular index method only for get or post requests. So there are many other verbs like put, delete, head, etc. I'm not going to cover all of them now because I'm assuming you are aware of what HTTP verbs are. Otherwise, this video will become really long. All right. So to make this action method only available for post requests, what we can do, we can apply HTTP post attribute. Now this method is only available via post request when we apply HTTP post. Next we have delete employee with input parameter. Let's delete all route first and let's add another route which handle input parameter with HTTP get. So within square bracket HTTP get and within curly braces ID :int. And to make it optional, add question mark at the end. And let's run the program. Let's go to employee / delete employee and you can see it is working as expected. Let's append /1 and you can see it's still working. So let me open Postman to check if these methods available via post method or not. So let's copy and paste the URL. Change append employee / index and change the request type to post. You can see the output is as expected. And let's change it to get. And you will see there is no output. All right. So that's it from this video. If you have any queries related to the content of this video, do ask me in comments. Till then, thanks for watching.